All right, this will be real quick. My battery's not too long. I mean, I don't have much time for my low battery. Let me say something. Let me say a little something here. There's stuff I haven't really talked about. There's a lot of stuff I haven't talked about. I'm going to give you one of the secrets, though. So, every system inside the devil's system has handlers, right? Doesn't matter if it's military, Freemason, Jesuit, whatever. Wiccans, warlocks, whatever. And so the handlers could be across the street. You could work with one of them. 99% chance you work with one somewhere. Or there's handlers everywhere. And so these handlers have to do what the secret society tells them to do, right? And if you read the Bible stories, let's use Samson and Delilah, right? So when I read Samson and Delilah about 20 some years ago, 20, 30 years ago, whenever it was, I meditated on that a little bit, and I realized, I think Delilah realized that Samson really did love her, you know? And she knew that. But she was paid by the military to get the secret. So she knew the military would kill her if she didn't get the secret. And they were probably listening in. They probably dug under the house or hiding under the house or something. Now they can just tap your house with a microphone or whatever. But the Bible talks about binding the strong. They can't bind the strong man unless they get over his threshold. Now, what would be this threshold in a man? Through his heart, right? So they have to send some female. I got the horn beeping, so this is really something you never heard before. I like to talk about stuff the preachers will never talk about. What I'm getting ready to tell you, you'll never hear anywhere else, okay? And all I can tell you is put the puzzle pieces together and meditate on it. So, what's the woman want? The woman just wants love. She wants to be loved, right? And so if they send a Jezebel or somebody into your world, and it might be, they might send somebody in your personal life. I knew that guy was going to start mowing. That's why I was going to turn around. I didn't hear him mow. So they might send somebody in your personal life. They might send somebody, your coworker. They might send somebody in your life to try to test you, right? And I watched it over the years. No matter where you go, they always send somebody to try to get into your world, right? And there's different factions. Now you might say, well, this is not necessarily secret society. It's just the spirit of the air. Okay, I can deal with that. It could be the hive mind. It could just be a flesh creature trying to get in, and they all do the same game. So let's say a secret society did hire somebody. And they never met anybody like you. They were paid to take you out, right? They were paid to poison you, kill you, or disable you or something so that they could get power of attorney, the insurance policy, or whatever it is. So Delilah comes in. Tell me the riddle of your strength. See, the world is not born again. The world thinks that they don't understand where you get your power. They want to steal your power. They don't like your independence. They want you to be in the hive. They want you to be a slave to the hive. And they're trying to figure out where you get your power. So they have to send a Delilah or Jezebel or something in to cross your threshold to see where you get your power. And if you listen to her long enough, she'll say, well, they'll ask you about your job or your finances. They're wanting to know how you're sustaining yourself. Because they can't figure it out. And it's actually God sustaining us. And they want to disable that. They want to take you off your calling. Because they want to shut you up because you know too much. Because you reverse engineered the whole system. And God showed you the creation code. Shekinah glory. And I tell them, I'm a 5D creature. I'm an extraterrestrial. I'm sealed with the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I got a 3D body, but I'm a spiritual being. I'm not from here. This is not my home. I'm a stranger and pilgrim down here. You think I care about that metal on that car or those tires or going to some club or something? I learned a long time ago, if you didn't spend money like the world spends money, like going out on TGIF, spending all your money on Friday and Saturday night, and you just got a job inside the world system, even if you made average money or the equal, maybe you didn't make more than the world, the secret society's people, but you made equal or a little bit less, you could still rise above it because they got to treat you fair. The game's got to be, it's got to be a fair game. And so you're not spending money on, and then I really learned recently, last 10 years, if you do fasting, a couple days a week, I can go 24 hours and not even eat. Think about how much money you could save fasting, eating beans and rice or whatever. Back to what I was saying, think about Delilah. The woman just wants to be loved, right? The woman wants to experience love. That's why if there's not love in the home, she usually cheats, because she just wants to feel that love, right? If she's a saved woman, she gets her love from Jesus. And the man loves her, you know. But every romance, it goes crazy for 2 or 3 months, and then it dies down and back to normal, and it becomes a normal routine. And so the saved woman gets her love from Jesus. She doesn't need to go find another man to get that romantic feeling again. That's what the butterflies, you know. They got to have them butterflies. God made them that way so that the man and woman come together and have babies and procreate, right? It's not a bad thing necessarily. And so Delilah's sitting there and realizes Samson does love her. But she's been paid to take him out. And I watched all the riddles over and over and over. She keeps asking the same thing over and over. The Bible says she wore him out. But I think what she was doing is saying, Samson, don't you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to find your strength to attack you. I think she knew that he loved her, and she was trying to help him escape. I could be wrong, but the reason I talk, because everything's a fractal. The reason I know this, because I was working on a job one time, and this girl, she said, she was an assistant to the top. She said, you do love people, really, don't you? You do care about people, don't you? I said, yeah. A week later, she quit. She just quit. They had paid her to try to take me out. And she knew I was kind. I helped people. I helped everybody. I helped the co-workers. I helped the people that we were serving. I just was helping everybody. I had no ill intention toward nobody. But see, the Wiccans, usually it's a Wiccan or a witch that does this. They think that all men are evil and they just need to be taken out. They want, and the Wiccans, they'll test to see if you're a real one, right? Is he real? Early on when I started my channel, I had a bunch of them just say, who are you? Are you real? Yeah, I'm real. You must be born again. Get saved. Give up your witchcraft and get saved, woman. And that's about 5 of them. Are you real? Are you real? Are you real? Are you real? I saw the game. And my mom, I think she was in witchcraft, and she would say stuff that made me realize that women are trying to see who is the real one, you know. Is this guy for real, or is he a fake one? And then, through the years, I did have somebody, I got to turn around because of the wind on the phone, had somebody say, you are a real one. What do you mean? What are you talking about? In other words, they're trying to, I was working around a Freemason guy, and I know he's a Freemason because I said something about the Bible. He said, well, we'll just test you. We'll test you. He was actually a Freemason. And I thought, what are you talking about? We'll test you. Who do you think you are, God? The secret society was wanted to test you, right? And so I saw a progression of different Delilahs and Jezebels trying to get in to test me. And when they figured out you were genuine, you wasn't trying to use and abuse them, they would reveal, they would say stuff that was so off the roof or so crazy that you would have to leave. In other words, Samson should have figured out that Delilah was trying to say over and over, what's your strength? What's your strength? What's your strength? What's your strength? Delilah was trying to tell Samson, because she knew Samson really did love her, to get out before they kill you. And I saw that in that story a long time ago, many years ago. I said, oh, so Delilah was being paid by the military and she had to do her job, just like some Jezebel now could be paid by the secret societies, the Freemasons, or the cult that they're in, or the whatever cult, Wiccans, whatever cult or ism they're in. They're the recruiter to pull you in, to get over the threshold, which would be your heart, to get in, to destroy you. But the problem with these military cults, because the devil works like a military thing, the problem with these cults is they forget one thing. If the woman is going to betray somebody for money, she's going to also betray the cult. When she betrays you for money, she sees that you really do love her, then she's going to betray the cult for love. She don't even care about the money anymore. She wants the money, but she's going to try to say something so stupid and crazy to make you realize this is set up so that you leave and you run away. I'm not even joking, people. You might think I'm joking, but I'm serious. I've seen it too many times. I told you, I am like a top dog when it comes to fighting Jezebel. And I promise you, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the background that God protects you from. And when you get to heaven, you'll be like, wow, you protected me from that and that and that and that and that, because they're all scheming to take you out because you're different. You're not from here. You're saved. You're born again. I promise you there's a million things that God saved you from that you don't even know about. Behind the scenes, in the court systems, in their family, inside the cult. Their house might burn down and you didn't even know about it, or not burn down, or there might have been a fire, or some kind of, not necessarily a physical fire, but something in their life just started happening, because you reap what you sow. See, God looks on the heart and the mind and the voice and the words. He sees everybody in the whole game. So he's letting them come in and test you to refine you. The whole purpose of this universe is to refine the saints, to make you a better person. So as you rise up spiritually, you'll learn to love your neighbor, love your enemy. You'll learn to forgive everybody. You'll learn to Romans 8:28. You'll learn Romans 8:11. The same spirit that raised you from dead will quicken your mortal bodies. So they try to poison you, kill you, take you out. I mean, I had 4 people at that house get out of the car, baggy pants. You know they had guns. Somebody had hired them to come in and take me out. I was sitting in the truck and they said, is this such and such address? And I knew it had to be somebody who knew where I worked. And it was so dumb, the address that they said. I said, no, you got the wrong address, man. Oh, don't call the police. We're sorry. We don't mean to bother you. Sorry. And they left. They took off. So these Jezebel, Delilah people will throw you under the bus for money. So when they see real love coming out of you, a genuine person, they'll throw the cult under the bus for love and still get their money. But they'll say something so stupid and so crazy that you have to just turn around and say, this woman's crazy. Let me get away from her. But you know she's not crazy because she holds down a job or she does this. She's just acting crazy so you'll run away to save your life, you know. And that's my theory. And that's one of my theories why I escape so much, because the Jezebel comes in thinking you're just like everybody else and you're saved, and they see that you're genuine and you have a heart for souls and you're not trying to hurt anybody or steal, kill, or destroy. And they say, why would I throw under the, just like Rahab the harlot, right? So Rahab the harlot, that's one example. Another example would be Rahab the harlot. So the spies came in and she knew God was blessing Israel. So the two witnesses went into Rahab the harlot's den. And I'm sure Rahab the harlot had some cats. Anyway, so I'm sure Rahab showed all the signs of the madam, and she knew all the captains and all the military people. So the two spies, she threw down that red scarf. They climbed out the window and said, I don't know what y'all talking about. So then when she left that red thing on the window, so when Israel came in to destroy the city, they didn't mess with her house because she saved the spies. And then I think the lineage of Jesus came through Rahab the harlot. So she finally served the true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, instead of Azeroth and Baal and the false gods, which is really self. They worship themselves. Those images they build is really a worship of a creation thing, like goats or themselves or something. So you see Rahab the harlot threw under the bus the people that were employing her. She threw everybody under the bus. Rahab the harlot threw the whole city under the bus to save the two spies, to save herself. And one of the guys in the Israelites ended up marrying her, I guess. And I think the lineage comes through Rahab the harlot, the lineage of Christ. So, by faith, people. So many times, because Jezebel or Delilah know they can only get across the threshold by getting into your heart, right? And these women have studied men, so many 1,000 men, so they knew what to say to pull the men to get over the threshold of his heart. So that's why they hire her, because they can't get in any other way. And so then she starts doing things that show that it's not real love, that it's not genuine, that it's a setup, and you walk away. And she's happy you escaped and that you're alive. And you're looking back and you're saying, and I've seen this many times, they're fake. The ones that still want to take you out, though, they're not hired by anybody. They're Jezebel pure. But the ones who are being paid, they usually just walk away. They might pretend like they're mad, but they know that they did wrong. They knew they threw a pure heart under the bus, and you just heal, you forgive, you move on. You might not resonate with this message, but I promise you, I've seen it in the real world, and you can see how Rahab threw the whole city under the bus, and she ended up marrying one of the Jewish guys, and the lineage of Christ came through that, which goes that it's not by power, not by might, but by his spirit. That's what this whole thing's about, walking by faith. And it's the power of God, not your energy, not your flesh.